Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and here are 15 awesome upcoming games to play in spring 2023. All of these will be launching during the next few months, and I've tried to compile a list of games that I think look great or are ones that I am genuinely excited to play. As always, I will keep spoilers to a minimum, but if you've got a PS4, PS5, Xbox Series console, PC or Switch, there should be a few games in here that you'll hopefully want to check out. Now these will be shown in the order that they are released, but I'll give you a tip, my favourites are towards the end of this video, so hold out if you want to see those. So first up is the long-awaited Resident Evil 4 remake. Now this game originally launched back in 2005, but it's since been remade to include enhanced visuals, improved gameplay and even new side quests. You play as Leon S. Kennedy from a third-person perspective on a mission to rescue the president's daughter. You face threats and hordes of enemies as you progress through the village. Capcom have said the overall story and narrative of the game is very similar to the original, so we're not losing anything there. But the improved combat, menus and crafting gives the game a fresh take with enough changes to make it feel new. Plus, if you're like me, I've not replayed RE4 for about 10 years, so I'm looking forward to playing this at night with the lights off. Resident Evil 4 launches on March the 24th on PS5, Xbox Series S and S, as well as PC. So if you've owned a PS3, PS4 or PS5, you've probably at some point played The Last of Us. It launched in 2013 on the PS3, but we've seen a few re-releases since then, including the remake on the PS5 in 2022. Well, the good news is, like with a lot of the PlayStation exclusives, The Last of Us Part 1 will be soon available on PC. This remake brings us enhanced gameplay, combat and visuals, and is enough to make it feel like a new game. You play as Joel in a post-apocalyptic world whose mission is to escort Ellie, a teenage girl, across the USA. If you've recently been watching the TV series, you'll have a good understanding of the main story, but the game is definitely still worth playing as it covers the storylines in a slightly different way. You come up against different enemies including infected and humans, as well as allies along the way. So whether you've played this on the PlayStation already, it launches on March the 28th on PC. So if you're a baseball fan, you won't be surprised that MLB The Show 23 launches this month. After all, it's their 18th entry into the series. You get to play as your favourite team, players and rivals as you progress through the season. You can play single player, 4-player local or up to 8 players online. And what's more is there's a brand new storylines mode which is being released with MLB The Show 23. And then we'll see Season 2 launching next year. And even though this game is published by Sony Interactive, it will be coming to Xbox as well as Game Pass. So MLB The Show 23 launches on March the 28th, and it's coming to PlayStation, Xbox and Switch. Right, so this next one is absolutely not one you would expect me to show, yet here we are. So this is Road 96 Mile Zero. It's a narrative adventure game where you play as two characters, Zoe and Kaito, as you journey through levels choosing different dialogues. There are mini games too which have a nostalgic, Crazy Taxi and Tony Hawk's vibe with the music choices. Now this game is a prequel to the first one that was called Road 96 and that launched in 2016. And I think it's one of those games that's fun and easy and breaks away from the normal releases that we see. Now I do appreciate that this is not going to be for everyone, but I would say if you like games like Life is Strange where they are narrative-driven games, this might be a fun one to pick up. Well, Road 96 Mile Zero launches on April the 4th, and it's coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch and PC. Okay, so if you recently picked up a PSVR 2 for the PlayStation 5, you'll be pleased to hear that we're getting an updated version of Creed Rise to Glory on here as well. This is called the Championship Edition and you play through various training minigames, a career mode as well as an online versus mode. There's not much to it in terms of the story, but if you're looking for a boxing game that gets you up and sweating, this is going to be a lot of fun and a very active game to play. So Creed Rise to Glory launches on April the 4th on PSVR 2. I feel there's a bit of a trend in today's video. There's a lot of remakes and remasters of older games. Well, next up we've got Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. This game originally released in 2007 and you play as Holmes alongside your sidekick Watson. This is a full remake with a rewritten script and storylines, as well as improved gameplay and visuals. Just like before, you are tasked with investigating a series of disappearances in Europe and the US. You then take your findings back to your flat in London to try and work out what is going on. So Sherlock Holmes The Awakened launches on April the 11th on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch and PC. Horizon Forbidden West is one of the best games that we've seen released on the PlayStation 5, so it's awesome to see a new DLC coming soon. Burning Shores is an expansion that brings Aloy to a volcanic area formed from the ruins of LA. This follows on directly from Forbidden West, so you will need to have installed and played this game to make sense of this DLC. And from the gameplay and trailers that we've seen already, Burning Shores looks absolutely stunning. If the full game is anything to go by, this is going to be a great addition to the story. So Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores launches on April the 19th, and this will be exclusive to the PlayStation 5. Right, now this is definitely one of the top games I'm hyped to play over the coming months. Dead Island 2 follows on from the 2011 release of Dead Island, and this is an action role-playing survival game. Now, I'm a huge sucker for zombie games, and this looks like it's going to be awesome and a lot of fun. It blends the perfect balance of horror, dark humour and over-the-top slaying. We also get to team up with up to 2 others in a 3-player co-op mode, and fight our way across LA while slicing, smashing and burning everything that we see. If you enjoy games like Dead Rising, Left 4 Dead or Dying Light, this is going to be a must-buy next month. So Dead Island 2 launches on April the 21st on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. So one of the most anticipated games for 2023 is definitely Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You once again play as Cal in a third-person view, and the story picks up 5 years after Fallen Order. Without giving too much away in case you've not played the previous game, Cal needed to make a choice on whether to protect or put the Force-sensitive children at risk, and that decision leads us directly onto the story of Survivor, as Cal must uphold his battle as the galaxy descends further into darkness. Now, although you don't need to have played the previous game, it wouldn't hurt to have played Fallen Order to get up to speed with the main character. From the trailers and the gameplay that we've seen so far, including the cinematic combat, fighting styles and visuals, this looks like it's going to be a great game. There's plenty of exploration, puzzle solving and collectibles. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor launches on April the 28th, and that's coming to the PS5, Xbox Series X and S as well as PC. Next up is Redfall, which could be one of the biggest Xbox Series X games of the year. This is a brand new open world co-op game where you take on the task of fighting against vampires and human enemies through the darkness of a town called Redfall. It features both single player and co-op modes where you can choose between 4 main playable characters. Each of these features different abilities, skill sets and loadouts. Now Redfall is an FPS game and is made by the same team who brought us Prey and Dishonored, so if you were a fan of those, you'll likely want to jump on this brand new game as well. Redfall is set to launch on May the 2nd, and will only be available on the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S and PC. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be one of, if not the biggest game for Nintendo in 2023. Following on from its predecessor in 2017, Breath of the Wild, you play as Link in this open world game as you travel across Hyrule. Now, not much has been shared about the story or the plot of this game, so there's not much to really say about it today, but from the trailers it appears a lot darker than Breath of the Wild. Either way, this is going to be an awesome new game to play. So The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom launches on May the 12th, and there's no surprise that it's only available on the Nintendo Switch. Next up is Atlas Fallen, which is a huge open-world RPG set in the dystopian ruins of Atlas. You play as your own custom-made character as you combat and navigate your way across the desert and vast lands of sand. This will be an action-packed game with various regions to explore. There's a momentum system which allows you to essentially power up your weapons, and the ability to upgrade your gear. And not only is this a single player game, there's also the option to join up with your friends via the online co-op mode, so you can play through the timeless sand-filled land with your trusted companions. Atlas Fallen launches on May the 16th on PS5, Xbox Series X and S and PC. Now, if you're a DC fan and you've played the Arkham series, you might like the look of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. You play as the various members of the Suicide Squad, including Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang and King Shark, as you try to reclaim and rescue the world which is being controlled by Brainiac. It's your job to either go at it alone via single player or team up with up to 3 of your friends via the 4-player co-op. And as you would expect, each character has their own strengths and abilities that you'll draw on during combat. This looks like it'll be a lot of fun, and when you factor in the different characters, storylines and being able to team up with your mates, I'm hoping this will be one that does really well this year. So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League launches on May the 26th, and it's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S and PC. Now, if you're a fan of Diablo, you won't be surprised to see Diablo IV in the list of best upcoming games to play. So taking place 30 years after D3, this ARPG is a vast open world game set in the medieval apocalypse. Blizzard have said that this world will be bigger than ever, with regions being up to 20 times larger than before. You'll progress through the world, upgrading your weapons and ranking up your level. The story also is not going to be linear, so you could jump between missions and quests and areas as you would like. And what's great is you will encounter other players as you travel around, which are scattered around the different towns and settlements. Now, this game doesn't come out for a few months, but last weekend there was a closed beta, and this weekend there's another open beta available to play. So if you want to jump on and give it a go, now is definitely the time to do it. And Diablo 4 launches on June the 6th and it's coming to PlayStation, Xbox and PC. And I can say it now, this game is going to be huge. And last but not least is the upcoming multiplayer game Crash Team Rumble. This is an online battle arena game where you team up in a 4v4 with your mates or random players as you collect as many fruits as possible to win the game. Although this game launches in June, if you pre-order it now, you get access to a closed beta on April the 20th until the 24th. This is definitely going to be one of those fun games to play with your friends or family. And Crash Team Rumble launches on June the 20th on PlayStation and Xbox, and it comes with full cross-play support. So that was a quick look at some of the best upcoming games that we're going to see in spring 2023. I'm looking forward to Dead Island 2, Diablo 4 and Resident Evil 4. But what about you? Is there a game in this list or a game that I've missed that you're really hyped for? If so, drop a blue heart along with a game that you're most looking forward to playing in the comments, and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. Also, let me know what you thought about today's video. I'm thinking of making this either a monthly or a seasonal series where I cover upcoming games worth playing. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out my best PS5 games from 2022 video next. And I also wanted to say a massive thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. So Squarespace allows you to create amazing websites and gives you the tools to connect with your audience. You can also generate revenue through gated members-only content. You can manage your members, send emails, and leverage audience through the insights, all in one easy-to-use platform. You could create a community of your own through the commenting system, including replies and likes, as well as publishing blogs and creating a powerful e-commerce site. These third-party tools will allow you to manage inventory, promote products, and even streamline your bookkeeping and accounts. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/SpawnPoiint to save 10% off your purchase of a website or domain. Well, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, sub, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Until next time.